have a lot to talk about, but we have some stories to share. Now, just to let everybody know right from the get go, because we have to do this every single time, this is, in fact, a live stream. It's live. That means it doesn't always go on a set path. We don't always know what the point's going to be. We don't know where it's going to go. It could go here, it could go there. Who knows what could happen during a live stream? We just kind of go with the flow. That said, I usually tell people that the first 10 to 15 minutes are the most important, and that's going to ring true for this one. However, there are two main topics that I want to discuss on tonight's live stream. I see Rick Reviews is here. How you doing? And I see Eric is here. How you doing? Nice to have you all here. So, with that said, the first 30 minutes or so might actually be more important. Although, for the first topic, it will be 10 to 15 minutes, and then so forth and so forth. Hey, Uber, how you doing? And hey, Alex, I see you wave, and everything might be a little behind, delayed. That's just kind of how it works sometimes. But, wait, Uber is no crybaby? Or is he commenting and so yeah, William, and I'm gonna say a few things about, what happened with Kobe. I rarely talk about sports, but in fact, you know what? We're going to hold off on the main topic. We're going to take a minute to talk about Kobe here. And by the way, Nathaniel Davies is here, my latest member. Thank you for being a member, Nathaniel. I definitely appreciate it. If you become a member, you get a little badge like that, and the longer you're a member, the more it changes colors. It's kind of neat, isn't it? So anyway, Kobe Bryant. I'm not a sports fan, to be perfectly frank. I am not a sports fan. Have not watched a basketball game for years. I have not. I don't watch sports. Interestingly, I met Kobe Bryant. I did. I met him. He was actually doing a signing at the Sunrise Mall in Sacramento. This was years ago. He happened to be in town, and somehow they booked him there. So I got in line. The autographs were $20. So I paid $20. I have a signed glossy photo of Kobe Bryant. And he was really nice. He actually, it was kind of awkward. He's like, "How you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I'm doing good. I'm just getting an autograph from my brother." He's like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "Yeah, to be honest, I don't really watch sports, and, just how honest I am sometimes." And he kind of laughed, and he was like, "Well, that's the first time I've heard that in one of these lines." So, he asked if my brother was there. He wasn't. And he was like, "So you're doing this just for your brother?" It's like, "Yeah." "Oh, well, hey, I appreciate it. What's your brother's name?" "Victor." He's like, "Okay, to Victor." And, then I found out, because I thought I was doing something nice for him. My brother hates the Lakers. He hates the Lakers. I didn't realize that. I was just like, hey, there's a basketball player here, and it's one that I happen to know what his name is. So I got it signed, and then I found out my brother didn't like him very much, and well, now the photo is mine, and it's definitely worth a lot more. But that wasn't my only interaction with Kobe Bryant. That was my only personal interaction with Kobe Bryant. But I kind of next came up face to face with him. Hey, Ryan Strezzer is another one of my members. I love it. All the members are here today. Well, I remember when the Oscar-nominated shorts came out a couple years ago, and the first short that they showed was Dear Basketball, which you can watch on YouTube, by the way. I've shared it in my community posts on my channel homepage. It's got Italian subtitles for some reason, but if you can ignore that, it was a wonderful little short. It was just beautiful. I love the music. The poem, the letter, so to speak, to basketball was very beautiful. I love the animation by Glenn Keane, who was a great animator for a lot of Disney stuff. Like, he animated Ariel, the Beast, and so many other classic characters, Tarzan. And we saw that short, and we kind of felt like, well, I don't know about the other shorts, but that looks like that's going to win. And it was really nice to see that short win the Academy Award, and Kobe Bryant was up there collecting the Oscar. So those are my two major interactions with Kobe Bryant. One on a personal level, one on a professional level. Otherwise, I don't really know much about basketball. And yet, when I heard the news that his plane crashed and Kobe Bryant had passed, I admit to feeling quite sad because I did love that short and I knew that he was a big deal in basketball. Unfortunately, his daughter died with him in this helicopter crash. And also, it's kind of personal for everyone here for a couple of reasons. First of all, if you live in the LA area, anywhere even near it, the Lakers are everywhere. And Kobe Bryant was the Lakers for a lot of people. I don't know if that was justified or not. Again, I don't really watch sports, but Kobe was very, very important to people who lived here. And, well, I'm feeling it. And not only that, the helicopter crash was in LA. So it's actually fairly close by. And so there's like a lot of traffic right now as the fans are out mourning. So you can kind of feel it. You can feel how sad everyone is about this whole situation. And it's tragic even if I didn't know the guy. I'm going to share a little story. When me and Katie were on our honeymoon, we considered doing a helicopter tour of the Kauai Islands. We didn't do it because of budgetary reasons. It was just too much money. Figured to save it for next time. And then a month and a half later, that very tour company that we were going to take the helicopter tour on, a helicopter went missing. And they found out a day later it had crashed. Everyone had died. And it kind of was like, that could have been us. Could have been us. It kind of shook me a little. I'm not going to lie. So, look, when it's that close by, it's it's felt, and the community is, you can feel it in the air. The community is suffering a lot right now because of this death. I mean, it was such a tragedy for a lot of people here that Donald Trump tweeted that this was terrible news, and that tweet got like over 250,000 likes, and this guy, his Twitter posts don't typically get those kind of numbers, whatever you think of him. So, yeah, and he was young, and he was with his daughter, and she had her whole future ahead of her, whether she became a basketball player or not. It was just sad. And apparently this happened in the rideshare professor's backyard. So, I should actually text him later just to see how everything's going. I actually did something today that under other circumstances my brother would be really proud of me at, because since I do not watch sports, I do not watch ESPN. I just don't. No need to. I do like their 30 for 30 series, and I like their OJ Made in America documentary that won the Academy Award, that 8-hour documentary that you can now watch on Hulu. But today I had ESPN2 on, and I was watching all the players share their memories, other people who shared what Kobe meant to them, and it definitely feels like a loss. It definitely feels like it's a huge loss, not only for the sport, but for his family. Like, one of the things that stood out to me, and this has got to be especially tragic, is he is survived by his wife and 3 of his other daughters. And one of those daughters is 7 months old. Just 7 months old. She's going to grow up. That's got to be like a strange thing, growing up like her father was this larger than life basketball figure, and she never even knew him. Never really got to meet him, never got to know him. That's probably the biggest tragedy in all of this. Like I said, I don't watch sports. Could really, for the most part, could have cared less what he was doing. Hey, I'm not saying like if he was doing stuff that he was happy, fine. It's just I don't have any personal connection with that. But, this death is definitely tragic, and I'm feeling it in the air. In fact, me and Katie, we just this afternoon we watched The Empire Strikes Back with one of her coworkers who had never seen it before, and we drove her back to where she's living, and we were on our way home. Because we didn't feel like calling an Uber. We try not to give Uber money if we can help it. Well, on the way home, the used car dealership, which apparently he went to this used car dealership sometimes. He would do he opened that car dealership up. He did signings there occasionally. Well, they had their illuminated sign that said Kobe Forever, and we couldn't help but get a little teary-eyed. And I kind of looked at Katie and I'm like, this is going to be big for a little while. People here are going to be feeling this for a long time. And it's just, it's sad. It's really, really sad that this happened. So, look, I didn't have any personal, except for that one time I met him in the Dear Basketball short, which, again, you can watch in the community tabs. And also, if you go to my Twitter, you can read my little print review of the Dear Basketball short on my iCritic website. But it's, even I know that this was a very unfortunate thing to happen. The community is going to be hurting for a long time. And, by the way, it's okay to feel sad. It really is. I mean, I know people, when things like this happen, people start bringing up things like, well, you didn't know him personally. He wasn't a friend to you. He was a celebrity. And what about the rape case against him, which, is totally unnecessary to bring up at this point in time. But I kind of tell people, look, here's the funny things about celebrities is, as strange as it is, you kind of feel like you do know them to a certain extent. Now, you don't really. I have met many celebrities in my life. And I can tell you, with a very few exceptions, they're not like the characters or you see on TV. The ones who are closest to what you see on TV are YouTubers and probably sports figures. Those are probably the closest to what you see is what you get. And that probably makes Bryant's passing all the more sad, because for years he was in a lot of people's homes on a weekly basis. He was in the interviews. People really felt like they knew him. And here's another interesting thing. I didn't realize this. He only played for the Lakers. He was a free agent at one point, and he continued to play for the Lakers. He never wanted to play for any other team if he could help it. And I think that says a lot about why this is so important to Lakers fans and why it's so tragic for LA. He really felt home here, and he strived to be part of this community. And now he's gone. And he was even starting to spread his wings. He was developing new sports programs for teens and kids. He was kind of training his daughter to be a good basketball player because she wanted to play basketball. He was getting into animation and film production. And we don't know what he could have done if he had survived. We just don't know. And, there's nothing about this that's simple. In fact, here's the thing. I think the reason it's also striking big worldwide is because his daughter was with him. It becomes a much more personal tragedy. And we all relate to it, even if we weren't particularly invested in Kobe Bryant. So, for whatever it's worth, that's my thoughts on Kobe's unfortunate passing today. We rarely talk about sports. And I don't know if we'll ever talk about sports again on this channel, to be honest, because I just tune out to it. But I felt this. This is, and people are definitely, people are hurting. I can understand why they're hurting. I understand why people are upset and they're pissed. I was reading one article, a guy who was saying, Kobe Bryant is dead. I'm mad. I can't believe I'm writing this. I don't want to write it, but I have to write it. Kobe Bryant is dead. And I am so angry at the world. And here's the thing. This is not the most professionally written piece. In fact, it really reads like someone who had just got some bad news and decided they needed to get their thoughts out right now, and it just happened to be with like the Los Angeles Times. And that that just yeah, yeah, that just that's the reaction a lot of people are going to have. It's so unexpected, it's so sad, and a lot of us are angry. And heck, you know what? I'm angry, and I didn't even care that much about what he did. So it's yeah. So yeah, Katie's in the other room watching Riverdale probably. So anyway, those are my thoughts on Kobe Bryant. I think that's all we can really say about it, especially since again I don't really follow sports. But let's talk about a more fun story, the one that actually takes place before the Kobe Bryant thing. And it is true. Security asked me to leave at a Fry's Electronics, the one in Anaheim to be precise. Now, let me explain what was going on here. You can probably figure out what I was doing there, but I kind of decided, because people have reacted positively to the Fry's Electronics videos, like of me walking through that one Fry's store and showing the empty shelves and the state of the store. A lot of people like seeing that, and I kind of decided, I want to document the remaining stores while I still can. They're probably not going to be around for the rest of the year. So I decided the next one I would do would be the one in Anaheim. Well, I went there, and I start the thing normal. I'm like filming like the space shuttle that they have in there. I showed like the center of the store where like there's immediately more stuff on the shelves than the other one. However, they removed other shelves to make those shelves filled out. And here, and so I got through like a good half of the store before security came around and said, "Hey, there's no filming in here. You can't do that." And so I was like, "Oh, okay, no problem. I'll stop." But of course, I'm a nosy journalist. It's never that simple. So let me show you what my phone looks like. This is my phone. It's got like a protective case. And so when I was like filming starting out, I was kind of filming like this. It was pretty obvious that I was filming, and I was talking and all that stuff. So he asked like not to film, and I said okay. And then I asked like, okay, where are the movies? And he's like, oh, the movies are over here, and he brings me to an area. Wait, no, the movies aren't here. Oh, I guess they're over there. They must have moved them. I'm like, oh, okay. And where's a USB charger for a micro cell phone? And he tried to find it, couldn't, asked an employee, she showed me. So I put that for $3 in the basket, and there were a couple anime that for $5 a piece that I put. But I didn't want, because there was still half the store that I didn't look at. So I did press the record button, but here's the thing: I closed it, and I kind of held it to the side. So just to let you know, I'm kind of walking. I've got it to the side, not up here, but like down here. And I'm just now walking around the store. I'm not saying anything. I'm just holding it. But I'm walking through all the aisles. I'm walking through the aisles so that I can, like, when I walk through the aisles, it's recording one side. But then, of course, if you want to show the other side, you got to turn around and walk back the other way. Well, obviously that's going to look a little suspicious. And I didn't, but I really tried not to bring attention to it, except for like in the presentation room, which this one was open, and inside the presentation room there wasn't anything on. Seats were kind of crummy, so I I filmed it more clearly that way. Figured I'd add in the narration later. Well, I went through the rest of the store, and well, the guy came up again. It's like, hey, you come here. It's like, didn't I tell you not to film? I'm like, I'm not filming. He's like, let me see your phone. And I held it up. I'm like, there it is. It's not open. See, sir. He's like, I saw you open the phone. I'm like, are you sure you saw me opening it? I might have been sending a text. And he's like, well, I already told you not to film. I'm like, well, I'm not filming. He's like, I think you are. I'm like, I think you can't prove that. And at that point, he was at that point he was like, I think you should leave. And I'm like, well, look, just to let you know, I have the things that I need. I held up the items. I have looked through the rest of the store. There's nothing else for me to look at right now. So, yes, I think I will buy this merchandise and I will leave. And he's like, good, I think that's a good thing to do. Now, it's been pointed out, well, Alex, I appreciate it, but that message did not need to, by failed journalists, did not need to be deleted. Because actually, yes, journalists know that you can't film on property. I just don't care. Also, a lot of journalists don't care. There's a reason these Fry's videos about empty store shelves are really big. Now, I found the situation more humorous than anything. I mean, first of all, yeah, of course, they don't want to be filmed. It's private property. But the reason there's so many of those videos out there is because there's no one there to care. The Fry stores, for all intents and purposes, are empty. The employees do not care to get into a confrontation with someone with a camera. For that matter, there's not a lot of employees there in the first place. But it's funny because ever since those started becoming popular, that has created the narrative that Fry's is in trouble. It's because of those videos that Fry's now has a reputation that, guess what, they are they're in trouble, basically. So Fry's is investing in security people. To basically keep an eye on to make sure that such viewers will experience buffering. Tell me if it's buffering, guys. I'm getting this error message on YouTube. I wonder if that's true. But so they're hiring security guards to make sure people aren't filming the stores. Interestingly, after I bought the merchandise, which was like $13, it wasn't much, to be honest, but after I bought the merchandise, I went to the front, I exited, and guess what? There was no security to check the merchandise. Because what Fry's used to do is they would check your receipt, they'd make sure you got you picked up the right merchandise. They want to make sure you weren't stealing anything, basically. Kind of like what Costco does, to be honest. But, I'm glad the quality's good. But that security person wasn't there. So right now, Fry's is more interested in preventing people from filming empty shelves, which, by the way, there's no people there. There was no customers there. That's probably why I also stood out. In fact, a funny story, when I got to the register and I bought the stuff, the guy the guy said, "Oh, you're my first customer today." And keep in mind, at this point, the store had been open for 6 hours. It had been open for 6 hours. I was the first person to buy something that day, and it was $13. Like, wow. So I do not begrudge the guy who got confrontation with me. I shouldn't have been recording in there, and he had every right to kick me out. I think it's funny that they care about that, but they don't care about keeping their shelves stocked. They don't care about having someone at the door to make sure you're not stealing anything. They just want to keep an eye on you to make sure you're not filming empty shelves in an empty store. Now, this does raise the question, what am I going to do with that footage? It's here. It's on here. And I'm going to edit it into a video. But, I do want to respect their privacy. I do want to respect that a little bit. And, I guess there's technically a case to be made that I could get sued for this, because that's considered trespassing. By the way, if they gave me a lifelong ban on the store, that would not be a loss, believe me. That would be no loss whatsoever. I think I got the last few bargain anime Blu-rays from them that I want, and there's no reason for me to ever go back. None whatsoever. But yeah, the other Fry's store didn't seem to care, or maybe they just didn't notice me. I don't know. But I think it would be hard for them to not notice what was going on. So I'm kind of thinking, and maybe this is where you guys can kind of give me advice on what to do on this one. I'm kind of considering turning it into a video, but putting it in a folder, a special folder called When Fry's Goes Bankrupt. Because we know Fry's is going to go bankrupt. I don't see their numbers, but you've seen the stores. If not in my videos, then in other people's videos, you've seen what's going on. It's not good. They're not going to survive at this rate. So, I like that real rideshare stories. I like that comment. I'm thinking about editing it, putting it in a folder, and the day after Fry's Electronics ceases to be a thing, sharing the rest of the vlogs, because I'm going to go to the other stores that I can, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to film the empty stores. I might just be a lot more discreet about it. Like, I might not be holding it up and making it obvious. I might just do what I was doing for the rest of this one. I might just record, hold the phone aside, walk through, and you can see everything, not commenting, and just do narration over. And I will save this footage, and once Fry's is especially out of business, once they are done, the videos can be shared. I can take a week vacation at that point, and we will just kind of lament on how Fry's used to look right before they passed. I just think it's interesting. The most funny thing about this is that, again, they're investing in preventing people from recording empty shelves. But the thing is, no one records like Walmart or Target or Best Buy or Vons or any of those stores because there's stuff there. There's nothing to see. It's just a store. But Fry's is unique in the sense that they have these giant stores. And all these shelves, and most of the shelves are empty. Or they've got one item spread across the entire row. It's ridiculous. And like you see, like it says toys. And then this section is toys. And you go into the section, there's speakers. They're not even updating all those things. So, I don't know. I see you guys commenting on Chris. I don't know. I don't see Chris here, though, but, whatever. It's just... And the thing is, I know at one point they didn't care about this because when you look at some of, like, the Fry's... stealth Fry's videos from other people way early on when this started being reported. You're actually freely filming. There's no one there. No one's bothering them. Heck, the employees are even talking about like, yeah, it's empty. But I think those videos are what inspired like the media to start writing articles like, is Fry's dead? What we're saying, like here's what Fry's are saying, here's what the shelves are saying. It's very interesting to see it that way. So I think they don't like those stories, so they actually are hiring now security people to keep an eye out for people who are, filming. However, there are ways to do it without bringing attention to yourself. I probably would have gotten away for it, except I had started filming. It was obvious I was filming. So when he kind of kept an eye on me and he sees me walking down the aisle and walking back, and I go to the next one, walk down, and then walk back, I think he realized at that point he's still filming. That said, when I asked him, I don't think he can prove that, he kind of gave me a look that showed that no, he couldn't prove it, but he was pretty certain that that's what I was doing. So he said, I think you should leave, and I politely agreed with him. And I didn't need to be in the store any longer anyway. The only thing that I did not film, I didn't film that Fry's still had a porn section. That's the only thing I didn't film. But honestly, it was kind of funny. I mean, it would have been funny because behind the for adults eyes only, there were like fragrances and stuff. It was like there was only like a little stack of DVDs. It was like it was funny. It was sad. It was super super sad. I mean, and granted, I'm getting some good anime at these Fry's for like $5, complete seasons and series for $5, but it's sad to see it this way. It really is sad to see what has become of this company. So anyway, I'm kind of conflicted. And I'm going to ask you guys. I know I'm not really interacting as much as I normally do. We're going to change that after this. But I'm just curious. What should I do with the video, guys? I'm going to edit it. It's going to be edited this week. Should I throw caution to the wind, upload it anyway, confrontation and all? Or should I wait a week, maybe 2, and then upload it then? Or do I edit the video, I put it in a folder, and once Fry's goes out of business, then I share the visual world, because at that point there'll be no one there to sue me. Granted, I've taken Fry's to court before. They're truly incompetent at defending themselves. So I know this firsthand. They probably wouldn't sue me because they don't have any money to sue me. And I don't have that much money to give them anyway. But yeah, I'm curious. What would you all do with this with this video? Upload it right away, wait a couple weeks, or hey, just hold on to it. Fry's has gone out of business this year. Then once they can't sue anymore, upload it and take a vacation. What would you think? Rick Review says, my favorite Fry's with the alien spacecraft crashing aside must be CA, Nevada. I think that's Nevada. The one that I was at, the one in Anaheim, is spaceship themed, but the aliens aren't there. So, Ryan Schroeder says, put it in a folder so you will be safe. Okay. Driver Steve said, Fry's employees have been telling me that they are in the process changing vendors and should have new inventory in a few weeks. That was a year ago, and they are still telling me that today. Yeah, you know what they're also telling you nowadays? They're telling you it's because of Trump's tariff war that they are suffering. Well, you know who isn't suffering by the tariff war? Best Buy isn't suffering. Target isn't suffering. Amazon isn't suffering. Walmart isn't suffering. Costco isn't suffering. Basically, Fry's seems to be the only company out there that's suffering from the tariff war. So I don't know how much I believe that. Bruce, Texas. Hey, Bruce, how you doing? I love to see you here. Says, yes, very sad at Fry's in Arlington, Texas, too. Don't know how they are managing to stay in business. They can't be making enough sales to profit to keep that big of a store open. No value shown in the video after Fry's goes out of business. Worried about you getting sued, though. El Chapo says alien theme in Burbank. Yeah, that's one of my next stops. Because here's the thing, I'm still gonna document the other Fry's stores. I totally am. I mean, the worst that's gonna happen is they're gonna ask me to leave, and I'll leave. And if they ban me from the store for life, as I said, there's nothing there to worry about. I will never want to come back. Once I go there and I get my footage and I buy the last few remaining video games and animes and maybe Blu-ray 3Ds that there is to buy at a good price, then I will have no reason to ever go back to Fry's Electronics. But, so that, yeah, I'm still going to document all of that. Trust me. Rideshare Lisa says, who is Fry's? The Fry's brothers were James and Randy Fry, I believe, and they opened an electronics store about 30 years ago. And it's like a warehouse store. It's, you can buy computer parts. A lot of like tech people use the store to buy hard drives, modems, wires, things like that to build their own PCs. But they've fallen in disarray. They don't stock a lot of things anymore. And really, what made me realize that this was bad was that when I bought a HD DVD player from a thrift store, I needed a figure 8 power cable to plug it in. And I went to Fry's because, hey, Fry's has parts. They probably have a figure 8 power cable that is cheap. No, they didn't have a figure 8 power cable. They didn't. In fact, they could only special order it. So you know what? I went home and I bought it from Best Buy and had it delivered. It's, yeah. Yes, the Incredible Universe store, yeah, I remember going to Incredibles Universe when I was a kid. When my dad would take me and my brother, and we'd walk around all the times. Occasionally, we'd buy like a computer game. And yeah, Fry's bought the Incredible Universe, and the one in Natomas, I believe it is. It's like the most vanilla Fry's ever. The one in Roseville is kind of cool though. That's like a train theme because there's a lot of trains in Roseville, California. I do like that Fry's does that. And here's one of the reasons why people want to document the Fry stores. It's not just because it's sad that the shelves are so empty and there's some sort of perverse pleasure or just perverse interest in looking at that. It's also because the stores are designed so nicely. They're designed nicely. They really are. And so it's just like they've got these architecture inside the stores that should not be forgotten. They're really, truly nice to look at. And they were cool. They did things so much cooler than typical retail store did. And yet, they're struggling. And, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why. I mean, their customer service honestly sucks. They put way more emphasis on selling credit cards than merchandise. They don't treat their employees right, and thus they have a high turnover rate. In fact, Fry's is one of those places where you used to have very knowledgeable people there because they worked on commission. Then decided they don't want to do commission anymore. A lot of those knowledgeable people, they left. They left. Some people are making 6 figures working at Fry's. Not anymore. So they just left. So let's see here. Driver Steve said they used to be a grocery store. Yeah, they did used to be a grocery store, and then they sold more computer parts than groceries, and they decided to become like the grocery store for electronics. Riser Lisa says, that would explain it. I have to keep going on YouTube videos to work my phone. Yes. George says, you can use your phone and film from your pocket. There was no way for them to know that you are filming. Yeah, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to like just hold the phone on the side, and I'm just going to walk through, and it might not be the best footage in the world, but it will get the job done, and I will add some voiceover commentary in the future. And what I might even do is I might just walk through the store incognito, and if there's certain things that I just want to like say something, I'll save that till the end and record after. We'll splice it throughout the video. At that point, if they ask me to leave, it's like, well, I got all the footage I need, so I'll leave. I won't tell them that. I'll say, oh, sure, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to upset you. So, that's what we'll do. Ryan says, do you have more Blu-rays or DVDs? I don't know, actually. I would assume at this point I have more Blu-rays than DVDs because I've actually replaced a lot of my DVDs with Blu-rays. I'm starting to replace some of my Blu-rays with 4K now. I have more than 300 3D discs. That's crazy. I probably got the biggest 3D collection. I should really submit that to the Guinness Book of World Records. Like, do I have like the biggest collection of Blu-ray 3Ds? Because most people don't even have like more than a couple. So, anyway. Bruce says, I really miss Incredible Universe. Great vibe, fun to go to. IKEA-like with different areas and rooms to go try out audio and video. Fry's is having the same problem now as Incredible Universe. Too big, not enough sales, high overhead, not profitable. Goodbye, Fry's. I'd be surprised to make it 2021. I don't think they'll make it to 2021. Rick says, last time I walked into a Fry's was for an air purifier for the CA fires. Immediate need, better than online shopping. It was. Like, look, here's the thing. People say that online shopping is the future, and I'm not going to say it's not. But physical stores do have their place. You need something right now, go to a physical store. Pick it up right there and then. But then it becomes like a problem because not enough people are going there in general for everyday needs, like that are not urgent. Things that are not urgent, they just buy on Amazon, they have it shipped to them. So the stores buy less of that merchandise. And then when you go there to get that specific item, guess what? They don't have as much merchandise, so you don't go there, and then that means they can't buy more merchandise. But Fry's could have probably kept themselves relevant. I'm actually might talk about an article because I'm not going to stop making Fry's videos. This is like very fascinating to me right now. And someone actually gave like a lot of advice on what they can do. Like I remember Incredible Universe used to have McDonald's in them. And when Fry's bought them out, they turned them into their own personal sandwich shop thing or whatever. It would have been, and I don't know if they could do it now because I don't know who would want to partner with them. But no, turn that into like a Starbucks. Turn it into a Burger King. Turn it into a Subway. Put something there that people will want to eat at. And that way they will know, hey, if I need to make like a big TV or stereo or computer purchase, I'm going to be there for a few hours, looking over everything, making my purchase. I know I can eat there. That would be one way to stay relevant. Have not pushing the credit card so much. Like, hey, at the end of the sale, mention it. Actually have like a perk. And who knows, maybe you can get more credit cards. And of course, having a huge stock, a huge inventory, where it's like, hey, it's like a treasure chest in here. Come buy things. Like, that was half the fun. When I worked at Fry's, how many movies did I buy on my own because I was just looking, like, I'd put movies on, it's like, oh, regarding Henry, that looks interesting. Oh, what's this? Miami Vice, that looks interesting. What's this? Sophie's Choice? $5? Sure, I'll buy Sophie's Choice for $5. Never seen it before. It might be good. It was very good, by the way. You know, like, when you have the inventory and the scale and the selection, people want to shop there. So, you know. Bruce says, reminds me of CompUSA, Computer City, Montgomery Ward's, Kmart, Sears, etc. Fry's is in a death spiral. I am amazed that Kmart is still around. I still live near 2 Kmarts that are open. And that's like a rarity. And I think I went in the Kmart to see what it's like. I mean, here's the thing about Kmart. There actually is stuff there. But it's nothing you want. And there's open boxes everywhere. Like, they sell food there. And I kind of wonder how long that food has been in that Kmart. It's really odd. I'm not going to lie. So, I don't know. I mean, I think it's interesting how I'm reading articles now, like Walmart, Target, Costco. They're starting to realize that Amazon is a big threat. Really, they didn't notice all this time. I mean, I'm hoping that it's enough to like kind of start turning things around. I don't think everything should be online. I'm actually getting kind of concerned about a future where we stream everything, we have our packages delivered, we play games online. We don't do LAN parties anymore. When I was a kid, LAN parties were a big thing. Everyone brought their systems to each other's houses. We'd all hook them up to the TV. But we don't do that anymore. Now, some people say, well, that's not convenient. It's like, no, but you know what's great about it? You get a bunch of people in a room and you have fun. Now it's all online. You never see the people you're playing with. You sometimes don't even know you're playing with. They're just playing with some stranger online. Like, I kind of think about things like this. It's like, why is this considered progress? It really has like a detrimental effect to what we're doing and how we're interacting with each other in society. So Rick says, usually online and fast shipping is better. Well, it's not as good as getting it that day, but whatever. Real Rideshare says, what about all the undercover stories on the news? They didn't get sued. Should be okay. Oh, yeah, I don't think I would seriously get sued. That's why I was just asking, but who knows. Will you buy Rick and Morty Blu-ray if one of the Fry's you go to has seasoned for under $10? It depends what season it is. And I don't know, because here's the thing. Like, for example, is it here? I know it's... No, I put it in storage. I did pick up season 2 of That 70s Show on Blu-ray at Fry's. Not a huge fan of that show, but it was less than $2. So whatever, I'll just pick it up. If it was a couple dollars, of course I'd pick it up. But Rick and Morty, I've been able to watch for free on Hulu for I don't know how many years, and I've just never gotten around to it. So I'm sure I'll watch it sometime. I kind of feel like I'm missing out on something, but I mean, right now there's just so much I'm watching. We're finally finishing up Game of Thrones. We just finished The Mandalorian on Saturday, hence what inspired the skit this morning. By the way, for all of you who watched the skit and liked it, thank you so much. It wasn't long, I know, but we really enjoyed doing that. And we just started the Diary of a Future American President. That might be good, who knows. And I'm watching Cardcaptor Sakura Clear Cards. I'm finishing up Nadia's Secret of the Blue Water, and then I want to start another anime. Me and Katie are watching Full Metal Alchemist. So Rick and Morty is not terribly high on the list of things to watch. We're also watching This Is Us. But who knows? I'm kind of in an anime kick again, so I'm watching more anime. I'm kind of finally taking advantage of my Crunchyroll and my Funimation Now and my High Dive anime subscriptions. So anyway, Rise Here, Lisa. Freedom of speech. Would they work? Let's see here. I don't know what you mean by that, Lisa. I'm sorry. Bruce says, I miss the old fries. Wanted to build your own gaming PC. They would have the parts there and knowledge people discuss what were the best parts. No more. That is long gone. I agree. That's a shame. Lisa says, Kmart buy me clothes. It was open for years and closed a few months ago. Yeah, Kmart used to be famous for the blue light special, where people would literally wait around all day at Kmart's and they'd wait for a blue light to go on and it would make like a noise and they'd rush to see what the special was. And they usually would be specials that would last like an hour or so. So people with like way too much free time in their hand. It was kind of like the Amazon deal box, how the Amazon deal box refreshes every hour and you get like the deal of the hour. That's what the blue light special was at Kmart. They figured it out first. But I guess that's not enough to keep them keep them in business. Let's see here. Bruce says, agreed. Incredible Universe was an event. Food court on the second floor was an outdoor patio. Daycare for the kids so parents could go shop. Oh, I remember the daycare. That's right. Entertainers and presentations to watch. Fries is like walking to a big, unfriendly, cold, sterile warehouse. Not very inviting, and prices are not good either. Well, they're getting better because they're trying to liquidate it. Lisa says, that was funny, Kevin. Oh, appreciate that. Bruce says, thinking about posting my fries vid I took today. Think I will first wait to see if you get sued first. I'm not going to get sued. Honestly, I don't have anything to worry about. I'm also thinking, though, like, maybe I'll just, like, wait just a little bit. I mean, one thing that's nice about a video like this is, like, it's not time sensitive. And there will be days when, because I'm finding more and more I need days off. I'm just producing so many videos on my 4 channels now that there's just days that I don't want to upload anything, so that might be like what I call like a dead Kevin day. Like, I'm going to take this day off, I don't want to upload videos, so let's take a video that's already edited and not time sensitive and we'll just upload it. So that's probably what will more than likely happen since I'm not in a hurry. Ryan says, did you watch all of Gravity Falls? I know you said that you own Shout Factory's Blu-ray of the complete series. I've actually not watched Gravity Falls at all. I should. I haven't watched it. That's another show I need to watch. I also, for Christmas, got Samurai Jack, the complete series. I started season 1. Like, man, why wasn't I watching this? Oh yeah, I wasn't watching this show when I was young because I have never had cable. Never had cable TV. Although I kind of do now because I have YouTube TV and that's basically live cable over the internet, but I rarely watch it. In fact, embarrassing admission, I pretty much use YouTube TV to watch Dr. Phil. That's pretty much the only reason I use it. And to watch the Golden Globes, which isn't streaming on anything else, and I will use it to watch the Oscars, of course. So a few live events, I'll use YouTube TV, but it actually doesn't function very much for me, but whatever. I kind of see it like, well, you're getting YouTube Premium out of the deal, so that's kind of nice. So anyway, okay, so we have got 10 minutes, everyone. Do we have any final questions, comments? Because we're going to be wrapping up very soon here. This was actually a really fun live stream. Like, I don't know what the what the capped how many people are watching live. Is there a way for me to check? Concurrent viewers 20. Is there 21 people here? Yeah. Well, how nice. That's nice to know. So yeah, it's fun to do this again. Bruce says, "Yep, take a day or two off. Don't get burned out, as your videos are great. Creative minds do need to rest and recharge once in a while too." Yeah, I thank you. I appreciate that. Although tomorrow there will be 3 videos going up. There will be 3 news stories going up tomorrow. Talking about Nintendo, Amazon, and Uber. So, wait, are we talking about Uber tomorrow? Yeah, I've forgotten. So, I dropped one of my. Sorry, playing with my Rick reviews. I missed the intro wave. Can we special? So, you know what I need? I need a new beanie. The Rocky beanie's getting old, I think, and I think some people are actually starting to call me Rocky because I think they actually think that's my name. So, Bruce says, Razzie of the Year for the worst 2019. My vote is cast. Shoot, have they announced the nomination for the Razzies? Razzies 2020. So that's 40th. Did they make the? No, the nominees and winners will be announced on February 8th, one day prior to the 92nd Academy Awards. It will also mark. That's interesting that they're going to announce the nominees and the winners, if you will, on the same day. I kind of wonder what the point of that is. But, well, Cats has a pretty good shot. Now, if you want, I can share with you my top 10 worst films of the year. Yeah, if you want to know what my top 10 worst films of the year are, I guess I'll share that now. I guess that's a nice little thing to talk about. So I'm gonna upload this on my website soon, but you guys will get the first. So the worst films of the year. First of all, the dishonorable mentions. And these are in alphabetical order because they're just dishonorable. We don't need to place them. But they are The Addams Family, Charlie's Angels, Frozen 2, The Lego Movie 2, the second part, and Stuber. Those are the bad movies of the year that almost made the top 10 worst films of the year list for me. But there were 10 films I considered to be a little worse. At number 10, I picked Maleficent 2, Mistress of Evil. At number 9, I picked Gemini Man. Even though the 3D was amazing in that movie, it was a pretty poor movie. At number 8, I picked Where'd You Go, Bernadette. Nobody cared where Bernadette went, and neither did I. At number 7, Aladdin. Number 6, Godzilla, King of Monsters. Number 5, and this was particularly disappointing considering it was the end to like a 20-year series, X-Men Dark Phoenix. That was definitely pretty sad. Number 4, Greta. Number 3, Serenity. Now, number 2, I picked Cats. I picked Cats as the second worst film of the year. Now then, does anyone want to take a wild guess what my worst film of the year would be based on that list? I mean, there's no way to know for sure, but maybe one of you will guess which one I picked. Let me just say, it was not a good year for felines. Not a good year for felines. But I believe the worst film of the year, and admittingly this choice isn't just for quality. I do think it's a bad movie, but it normally wouldn't even make the list. But what this movie represents, and admittingly the success a little bit, because of what it means the company now wants to do with their movies, I picked The Lion King. Because that is by far the last thing Hollywood should be trying to do right now. Basically, yeah, it's a copy and paste king. I don't need Hollywood to be taking a movie that I love, literally copying and pasting it with a new coat of paint, calling it new, selling it to me, making it worse in the process. I don't need that. And unfortunately, The Lion King's success the fact that it got made and the fact that it was successful really is setting a dangerous precedent because other studios are going to want to do this. I now hear Disney wants to make Bambi, and they're going to do the same thing. They're going to copy and paste it. They might make it 10 minutes longer so that it's not 65 minutes, but they're going to copy and paste it. That's the other thing about these live-action Disney remakes. First of all, they're usually not live action. They're more animation than they are live action. But then they somehow get less accomplished and yet are longer. It's amazing how that works sometimes. It's just ridiculous how that works. So those were my top 10 worst films of the year. Bruce says, I was so disappointed with Stuber. Ryan says, have you seen Ready or Not? I'm wondering if it is a movie you would recommend seeing. Ready or Not was interesting for me. How should I put it? It's got a great premise and it's not entirely boring. I was a little uncomfortable with where it ended. And that's probably what I'm going to say about it. Silent Momentum. Oh, well, welcome, Silent Momentum. I haven't noticed you in the chat so far, but hey, welcome. Says, I felt Disney was afraid to make a better version of the original Lion King. Yeah, they probably were. I mean, because here's the thing. You've got a movie that's very personal. Everyone loves it. They know it line by line. And the funny thing about the remakes is, like, when you make a remake of something, it should be different. It absolutely should be different. Problem is, there's a lot of people who feel it shouldn't be. They want to see the exact same movie, and The Lion King really took it to the 10th degree. It was exactly the same as the original. Dumbo. Dumbo was definitely average. I'm not going to list it as one of the worst films of the year because, I mean, holy cow, at least it was a little different from the original. I'm not just talking about, like, the crows not being there. Timothy Mouse was barely in it, to be honest. But, like, you know, there was actually, like, a new story. There were new characters. They were doing something different with it. It didn't really succeed, in my opinion. But A for effort, as they say. But, yeah, that's the thing. These live-action Disney movies, I mean, I think the only one there are only two that I liked, to be honest. I liked Cinderella, and I liked The Jungle Book. Otherwise, they have not done a whole lot for me, and they, I just don't. I really wish people would stop spending money to go see them. I think it's getting a little out of control at this point. But anyway, folks, we have less than 2 minutes left. Less than 2 minutes left. I know, it's sad. It's so sad. I wish we could spend all of our time together, but, you know, we have to end this at one point. So, Bruce says, why aren't the movie producers catching on? Dr. Dolittle is now bombing out. Why waste money on making those movies? Well, because they see that Disney is still succeeding at them. I mean, Disney's not losing money on them. They're making bank. Like, Disney's being well rewarded for doing this, and that's why they're continuing to make it. And other people are trying because they're seeing Disney being successful at it. But I think it's interesting because I think Disney gets like a pass for a lot of things that other studios don't. If Disney had made Dolittle, and I thought they were supposed to because I thought 20th Century Fox owned the rights to that, but I guess not. If Disney owned Dolittle and they made Dolittle, though, it would have been a mild success because people just trust the Disney brand. But other people can't do that. It's kind of funny because people will make these terrible Disney remakes super huge successful films because they trust Disney to be quality, even though most of these products aren't. The other studios, they make movies of very similar quality that Disney makes, but they get punished for it because people actually want them to prove so that they can be successful. In fact, there's a funny story about Don Bluth, who at the time he was making Thumbelina, which had Jodie Benson as the title character. And they did test screenings of it. And they found that at the time, the test screenings that they showed, that Disney's logo appeared before the film, as opposed to Fox's logo or Warner Brothers logo, whoever was making it at the time, were much better received and got much higher recommendations than at the screenings that showed the Warner Bros. Logo. Because Disney was on top of the world, and they trusted Disney, and so if they thought it was a Disney film, they gave it higher marks. But if they didn't think it was a Disney film, they gave it lower marks. So a lot of this is perception. It's not fair. It's not right. That's how it is. And what can we look forward to from you in the next week or two, sneak preview time? Well, tomorrow we will be talking about Nintendo, a company that I have never talked about on this channel to my knowledge, but I'm going to be talking about them for a very good reason. And, of course, we will continue to talk about Uber and Amazon. And also, I'm probably going to announce some more minor changes to the channel on next week's live stream. They're not major, though. In fact, I think people will really like these changes. But I just don't want to get into it now because our hour, is here. The time is up. And we need to go. But thank you, everyone, for spending time. Pretty much everyone spent the entire time here. So thank you so much, and I really appreciate it. For those of you who might be watching this after the fact, and hey, you know what? Thank you for watching, especially for sticking through this whole hour-long video. But what do you think about any of this? We would really like to know. So comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Oh yeah, by the way, one more thing. There's going to be like a special guest star, if you will, on one of the videos tomorrow, but I'm not going to tell you which one. You're just going to have to watch them all to find out. So anyway, that's where we're going to end this. Take care, everyone.